Well, that first step is commitment.
Mm,
You're going to start to build anchoring and pay attention, then this is going to change your life. So you better be committed, right?
right.
So the best way to look at anchoring is once you're aware of what's playing inside of you. So this is the way I always teach. We need to interrupt that pattern first of all. And
Yeah.
that's the big trick because the neurology wants to loop. It constantly wants to loop. It wants to complete the synapse connection.
Right.
So by sitting there and feeling maybe you're stressed or sad, that's the first place to start.
Right.
Because that's also an anchor because you're consciously being aware of what's playing unconsciously and automatically. So
Right.
by going, I'm stressed. Most people will just carry on being stressed all day. Or most people will just carry on being sad all day, right?
Right.
That's the difference between someone who's performing and someone who's not. The
Right.
neurology's firing, the anchors are still firing, the neuro response, the chemicals are still firing. Right. So interrupt that pattern. Once you've interrupted that pattern, then
How do you interrupt a pattern?
awareness. Because this is the thing with me, because it doesn't matter how I'm feeling or any of my clients, how they're feeling. If they're about to do something, that if they're about to step into a stage or pick up the sales call, then you've got to check your state.
Yeah.
And so it's all about conscious control. It's about checking in on that state.
Right.
Because if you're about to do the sales call and you've been arguing or stressed, then that's emotion again, anchoring. It's
Mm,
going to flow through to you picking up the phone, which is going to affect your tonality, your pace, your
right.
pitch, your timbre, and
Yeah.
everything else just in your voice, right?
Yeah. That's
Right.
great. Now I heard like some questions can be good to ask yourself for pattern interrupt as well.
Absolutely.
Um, where you could ask yourself, then what? Like if you're looking at a big piece of, you know,
Mhm.
key lime pie that
Mhm.
everyone's eating around at a family dinner or cheesecake or something like that, you could ask, okay, I'll have this, and then what? And
Right.
you know, in your mind, you can future pace. Future
Mhm.
pacing is just, you know, just
That's right.
bringing yourself through what could happen in the future, feeling crappy, having some digestive issues, you
Mhm.
know, feeling more tired and fatigued or whatever it
Right.
may be that's associated with that high insulin spike, and you've just kind of thought you've created a state inside of yourself that says, you know, I probably shouldn't go for this piece of cake or something like that. Are
Right.
there any other questions like, and then what, that are good pattern interrupts? I know that just being aware of your state is really important, but you know, ultimately trying to dig deep into, you know, getting that shock factor. Like I need to change my direction. You
Right.
know.
There's many different things, and then I'll actually bring it back, and we can talk about how to apply anchoring for a positive performance way. We'll get back to
Nice,
that.
nice. Okay, cool.
So
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely right. Because
Excellent.
remember, our brains are question answering machines.
Yeah.
So if I was to say to you, Isaac, what did you eat for dinner last Tuesday? Again, your mind's going, I'm not sure, maybe. But again, you tried to answer that question. That's called the transderivational search, where your mind flicks to go and search for the answer.
Mm,
Well, that's interrupting the pattern. So you can literally ask anything. But what you're talking about right there is something that it's something that addicts do. Let's go to an extreme example. An addiction doesn't have to be drugs. Addiction can be overtraining, undertraining. Addiction can be obsessed about work. It can be anything.
right.
So the first place to start there is understanding, like what you just said, future pacing. Because somebody who's trying to do something in the moment, that's all they're trying to do is get that instant gratification, that instant. So by go, are you going to drink? Are you going to eat that chocolate bar? We're talking about health, right? So are you going to eat that chocolate bar? Well, right then, as I say, we can working with me. We retrain it on an unconscious level, but consciously just trying to get hold of it. Yeah, you can ask that question.
Right.
What would happen if I eat this chocolate bar? And
Right.
then what you do in your mind is you forwards that movie to the result, and then
Right.
you can ask the question: well, what happens if I don't eat that chocolate bar? And then
Right.
forwards the movie again. So
Right.
what you're doing is you're taking the instant gratification and showing your brain by future pacing options. Because the unconscious mind works like this. You give it one option, it's going to do it. You give it 10 options, you're creating the
Right.
ability to go, well, which one actually excites me or which one is the right option?
Right.
So we're changing that habit. Anchoring, let's get back to that for
Yeah.
you.
Sorry. Yeah. Good. Good. Good.
No,
Good.
it's good. It's good. Thank you. Anchoring is So what I teach people to do is a few different things with in regards anchoring. But as I say, pay attention. So anchoring, I like to create a physical anchor because everyone can see me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So you can use auditory anchors. A song could be an anchor. A
Right.
person could be an anchor. Anything can be an anchor for you. But
Right.
I like to give people the ability to get control and then start anchoring in the moment. So where does this start? It can start something as